The following opinions are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Hi, I'm Steve for BoatTest.com, and in this video, we're going to conduct a sea trial and performance evaluation of the all-new 45 Fly from Greenline. Greenline is well known for being able to bring hybrid electric propulsion to the table, and while that's certainly an option on this boat, this model is powered with twin 375 horsepower Yanmar diesels turning straight shafts. Let's start with a look at our operational features, beginning with the helms. The Flying Bridge helm is port side mounted. The panel includes a 12-inch screen, obviously with room for more. Below and to the left are the trim tab controls, the autopilot, thruster controls, and below is a remote controller for the main screen, and as usual, I'd like to see that mounted back to where it's operable while sitting back. We also have the Fusion stereo here, electrical switches, and rather small beverage holders. I'm not sure that there's a container that small. To the right are the engine displays, start stops, and the engine control sticks. The steering wheel is mounted to a tilt base with the compass correctly mounted right in line. The seat is a double wide bench, no flip bolster. The antenna array is a stainless steel frame with a support for an optional radome. The masthead light tops off the array. Cleats are mounted to the sides of the aft deck and lead out to stainless steel chocks with integrated rollers. Repeated to the other side. Just ahead on the starboard side is an emergency bilge pump. At the stairs to the platform, there are two 50-amp short connections, one for air conditioning and one for the rest of the 110-volt systems, and the cleats to both sides are mounted vertically and up high out of the trip zone. The lower helm is starboard mounted. A 3-foot 1-inch by 11.5-inch panel houses a single display, but as with the upper helm, could certainly accommodate two more. The lower panel includes a VHF with a separate speaker, a center-mounted compass, engine start-stops, and engine displays. Further aft are the bow and stern thruster controls, trim tabs, and engine controls. The steering wheel is mounted to a fixed base, and just ahead is a recess that could use a non-skid pad and perhaps raised edges for dropping the cell phone into without having it slide right out. And to the left is the autopilot. Below are bilge alarms and electrical switching to both sides. From the standing position, headroom is 5 feet 8 inches, and height of eye is no more than 5 feet. Visibility is through a 9-foot 3-inch by 3-foot 8-inch single-piece windshield, and a 10-inch brow helps knock down glare. Defroster vents are supplied with the tropical air conditioning package. Alongside is an 18-inch wide by 4-foot 1-inch high sliding door leading right to the side deck, where we have a 12-inch cleat and a side boarding gate, making it convenient to tie up the 45 single-handed. And notice how when the door is opened, it recesses into the bulwark so as not to impede on the 15-inch wide side deck space. With the controls right next to the side door, we can have a full view of the starboard side when maneuvering around the dock. At the bow, bulwarks come up to 14 inches with the rails topping out at 27 inches. 12-inch cleats are mounted to the cap rail. A hatch opens to reveal the flush-mounted ground tackle. The hatch is held open with a gas support strut. A coiled remote is mounted underneath. The windlass handles the all-chain rode, which runs out to the anchor roller recessed into the stem. There's a hatch in the aft deck that leads to the engine room. Inside are the dual 370 horsepower Yanmar diesels turning V-drive transmissions. To the port side is a 21-gallon water heater and the expansion tank just above. Forward is an 11 kW generator. Of course, the Greenline brand is well known for conserving power. We can run the boat systems on battery easily enough. The 45 comes with 600 amps of battery power as standard, which equals 7.2 kilowatt hours of power, all run through a 3 kW inverter and recharged from the two 300 amp solar panels on the cabin hardtop. This is all distributed through the solar management system. Those panels, by the way, are recessed into molds for cooling, and there's drainage to all sides. Of course, we can also order this 45 Fly with an H-drive to run her on battery only as well. This will have a cruise speed of 6 knots. IPS pods are also available, and they're not just dropped in, it's a different hull configuration. Tunnels for shaft drive and hybrid, flat hull for the IPS. At either side we can see the fuel tanks, 200 gallons each, with the fuel filters attached. As we got underway, I immediately became a fan of the side door next to the helm. With the controls within easy reach and a view of the whole starboard side, our departure was a non-issue, and the thrusters were more than enough to push this 31,000-plus pound boat around. I was even able to look for traffic to port just by looking through the side window. No obstructions to get in the way. Once clear of the dock and into the fairway, just duck back inside and get comfortable. Easing out of the marina was done by just nudging the shift levers in and out of gear just to keep us moving, and she was responsive to the helm even at those low speeds. The Greenline 45 Fly has a length overall of 51 feet 1 inch and a beam of 14 feet 11 inches. With an empty weight of 29,762 pounds, half fuel and 4 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 31,752 pounds. With the twin 370 horsepower Yanmar V-Drive diesels run up to 3750 RPM, we reached our top speed of 23 knots. So with a total of 740 horsepower, we're clearly not going for high speeds, but more for cruising comfort, and we have a lot of options for that. If we back the power down just a bit to 3200 RPM and 18.5 knots, we open up the range to 246.1 nautical miles, and that's where my hands seem to consistently gravitate the throttles to. If we want to cover more distance, 2200 RPM gives us just under 10 knots. There, the 11.3 gallon per hour fuel burn works out to 0.9 nautical miles per gallon and a range of 313.6 nautical miles. 1250 and 6.3 knots will produce 1118 nautical miles. It's all about the journey as much as the destination with this comfortable yacht. She'll reach planing speed in 7.2 seconds and pass 20 miles per hour in 11.3. When she's brought up on plane, simply add about half tabs and the speed will gain about 2 knots. Obviously, her 23-knot best speed is in calm conditions, and as with any boat in this class, waves and wakes will have an effect on that. A lot of her driving comfort comes from the responsiveness to the helm that I mentioned earlier. At cruise speeds, it's more so thanks to more wash against the rudders. She has a gentle 9-degree roll into the turn so nothing gets tossed about. I did find the frame for the side door to be a tad low. I kept having to duck to see to starboard, but the convenience of having the door at all outweighed that. Returning to the dock gave us another chance to test her low-speed maneuverability, and as expected, it showed nothing uncharacteristic of a well-handled yacht. Basically, whatever we wanted to do, she was able to respond perfectly. With the ability to choose from 3 different propulsion options, diesel, hybrid, or IPS, the Greenline 45 clearly delivers for those customers looking to make their boat truly their own. Regardless, her solar panels, battery banks, and inverter make her a good neighbor in any mooring field, as the generator is really an afterthought. She's also well laid out with an interior from super yacht designer Marco Casali, but that's another video. Be sure to look for it. For now, this is my full sea trial and performance evaluation of the all-new 45 Fly from Greenline. For boatest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.